Aloha, and Tashi Delay from Kauai Tibetan Buddhist Dharma Center here on the island of Kauai in Hawaii. We present this class every Thursday night, 6 to 8, and record it and put it on our website, kauaidharma.org. I'm Lama Tashi. Somebody asked me what the name of our Dharma Center is. It's Kagyu Tupten Chuling, Choling. Tubten, Tubten, means Buddha's doctrine, 10. And so this is an offering of the Buddhist doctrine, Dharma Center, Ling, means place. Another question that is asked before we start our class of meditation practice is, what is the cause of all of this immense turmoil, distraction, calamities, and so forth, taking place all at once, all over the planet? And the simplicity of this answer evades 90% of the people on the planet. And that answer is the idea of an ego or a self, or in religious traditions, a soul existing, which is false. And this is Tai Situ Rinpoche's book, which I study a lot. I don't have luckily I don't have a photographic memory, but if I read and pray or say something over and over enough, some of it sticks. But concerning this idea of a self or a superior self or a soul, or actually any idea that we have, I'm talking right now pertaining to itself, is the cause of all the suffering on the planet. All of it. For the individual not to take responsibility to find out what really exists that is useful and what exists that's damaging. So I'm going to read this one paragraph from Tai Situ Rinpoche's Way to Go, which we've gotten 3 copies of this. And we're going to have to try to get it put on Amazon. Anyway, this concerns a paragraph titled Utilizing Negative Circumstances as a Direct Part of the Path to Gain Realization of What's Really Going On and How to Use that Information. That's called realization. But this one paragraph, it could be said a little bit shorter, like I just said, but this is from a very high Lama, a Buddha Lama, Tai Situ. Since beginning of this time, we have not really understood which actions are harmful to us and others, and which are beneficial. Everything became food which fed the ego, and our everyday happiness or suffering are the products of former good or bad karma coming forward to this life, respectively. Not knowing this, we take success and happiness to be the fruit of our immediate efforts and use thoughts about this to boost the concept of an ego or soul. When we are suffering, we react to retaliation or self-pity or so forth, and this boosts the ego illusion. Happiness and suffering both cause the ego to develop rather to diminish. And it, as the ego, is the very seed of all pain and suffering. The Buddha Shantideva said that all suffering throughout existence stems from this ego. This ego is the real demon that persecutes us, but it is a completely non-existent demon. So no matter how hard we search to find it, we can never find its existence. We can't find anything. Nevertheless, once this illusory belief in a self has been created, then the I desires its happiness, resents suffering, and is ignorant of the actual way in which true happiness, true and lasting happiness, can be found. Thus, the I gives rise to the three root poisons of desire, aversion, and ignorance. And these in turn gives rise to the pain and suffering of samsara. They will never be annihilated until their essence, the ego, is uprooted. Until that time, they will manifest endlessly. And in this case, they are on a global scale, worldwide. All the suffering and calamities that we are experiencing today in present time are the result of our own past unskillful attempts to satisfy the ego and protect it from unhappiness. Protect what? Enough said. Except there are two kinds of consciousness working right now, right this moment. And the first kind, the most prevalent kind, is the outer condition of our existence, starting with our body and then moving out into the world, which is what we do with our elemental practice, because that's how the world exists and creates itself and us. But this outer situation is so infinite, is the best term, but so distracting because there's so much of it. And I'm talking about just here on Mother Earth. I mean, beyond this, it goes off the charts. It becomes the infinite of the infinite. But this outer situation is to be managed. It's useful. It's beautiful. It keeps us alive. It's perfect just as it is. It doesn't need to be changed. Tell that to the developers. Remember smart, the developers. The inner state is what this class is about. To improve your inner state is to improve the situation of your physical, mental, emotional situation. And there are 5 ways. Purifying is one way. Attracting, destroying, creating, equalizing, and discerning what is appropriate and what's not appropriate. Those are the 5 energy fields of a Buddha. If you enter one of those, the other 5 start to either make sense or become one with it. For instance, everything is interconnected to us. Everything. Outside, inside, everything. In other words, that's an infinite amount of stuff as your life support. Now, that is what we take on the path. All that pain and suffering, what's going on, we have ways of bringing it into the mind because that's where it started. It went out there. Now we bring it back. And we dissolve it into nothing because that's its true nature. We mentally dissolve it into nothing, voidness, space, space and light. That's the energy of everything, your thoughts, your body, the whole universe. Those two cannot be separated. In your body or your mind, they can't exist separate. And if you get that, you understand why your pineal and pituitary gland are faced right here, what they call the third eye, the eye of imagination, which is in your brain, because you got to take the dimension of space and the products in the space, the light, the forms, and imagine them, because you can't reach out and grab them. It's like reflection in a mirror. They're there, but they're not there. They exist, but they don't exist. All these dichotomies. And dichotomy starts with the idea that the self is separate from the experiential world, which is impossible because the only reason you even witness the experiential world is through your eyes, ears, nose, mouth, body, and so forth. So now you know that all of this terrible energy program of the weather, climate crisis, and the viruses, disease, and so forth, and the wars, and the famine, and the droughts, and the disease, and the fires, and the hurricanes, tornadoes, every kind of water you can think of, ice, snow, hail, tornado, clouds, all of it is our creation, and we can take it because it doesn't really exist. We can take it on the path of practice and dissolve it into nothing. That's where our taking and sending Tonglen practice comes from. That's where the idea of the deities come from. Because the deities don't exist. They're a figment of your imagination. And their purpose is to purify you and keep you present. By visualizing them, saying the mantra, and keying that in with compassion as a benefit to all beings, which it is. Because you're taking the two most powerful energies into the practice, space and light, into your heart. You know, the foot of meditation is that voidness, is that illusory aspect of everything. The head of meditation is devotion to the person who just points that out to you, the guru, and how to deal with it. And the practice is from the heart to actually deal with it, because you're not doing it just for yourself, you're doing it for the benefit of an infinite number of sentient beings. Infinite number, that's an oxymoron.
Because it can't be a number.
But anyway, in order to attain enlightenment, reading, in order to attain enlightenment for ourselves and limitless sentient beings, our mothers, we now all together, so you imagine all the infinite beings in the universe, take refuge and offer prostrations and other practices for the benefit of these beings. Now I ad-libbed a little bit. But that prayer is Tibetan Buddhism. It is not other forms of Buddhism. This altruistic motivation does not prevail throughout the Buddhist tradition. And you can see that today in Sri Lanka, or Kashmir, or Bhutan. Yes, even Bhutan. And many other Buddhist countries. But here we're taking the tradition that goes back 2,600 years to Shakyamuni Buddha that prevailed in India and changed their culture, to Tibet and changed their culture, and now to the whole planet, hopefully changing our culture. So this altruistic motivation is the key. Then you take refuge. Now you set the motivation. There's no motivation superior to this motivation. All the heavens and hells do not use this motivation. And that's the problem. In Sanskrit, which is the way the Tibetan tradition is spreading to the various cultures and translated into the language of those cultures, is for the spirits which inhabit our body and everything to be in this program with us. Dagdang Jowa Namke Dadang Yampe Sem Shem Lam Che Dudi Ne Junte Chi Si Jeng Chu Ningpo La Chi Ki Bardu. Now we take refuge. That was the motivation. And the refuge is in the three jewels, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, which all Buddhists do that one. But we incorporate the three roots of the Lama and the symbols of the Lama as peaceful and protector deities, along with images of human beings that are mature. They're called Buddhas. Why are they mature? Because they're intelligent. Does that mean they're smart? Not necessarily. And that's a good thing. You know, the smart ones have got us into a terrible predicament globally. And that's across the board. Religions, politics, corporations, military, social medias, etc., etc., etc. So these three jewels and three roots is how we break the hold of the mind on our true self, our true nature, our heartfelt, kind, considerate person who is interested in the well-being of everybody and the environment, Mother Earth, and even the sky, which is now being obliterated with all kinds of, I'll call them toys. And as they make these toys, they ruin the environment of the planet. So we take refuge in all the Lama Guru. We take refuge in all the yidams, or the deities, which we gather into mandalas in practice. They're called yidam. That means powerful apparition, powerful imagination to fulfill motivation and wishes. That's a yidam. And these are our practice, by the way. We go for refuge to all the Buddhas, those who have conquered their mind. Wow. They treat the mind like it's a cell phone. And gone beyond, they turn the cell phone off. We go for refuge to all this supreme Dharma. And by the word supreme means the Mahayana, Vajrayana, Tantrayana is supreme Dharma. That doesn't mean better. All dharmas are equal. From a pile of poop to practice, equal. It's just energy. And when we talk about teachings, this is a notch above. Because the whole purpose is not just to make you healthier, but to cause you to become on your own more intelligent. And therefore have a more enjoyable life, death, and future. We go for refuge to all the noble Sangha. That's all the teachers and people who practice. It's called Sangha. We go for refuge to all the Dakas and Dakinis, who are the protectors and defenders of the Dharma, Wisdom Mother. And all of these possess the eye of transcending awareness, means beyond the intellectual, into intelligent mindset without a mind. In Sanskrit, Alden Lama Dampa Nam Lama Chapsu Shio Yedam Chokor Gilatso Nam La Chapsu Shio Sanjay Chodende Nam La Chapsu Dampe Chur Nam La Chapsu Pawo Kandro Chokyun Sume Shoyaseki Shendang Dempa Nam La Chapsu Chiyo. Then we enter into Bodhisattva training school. I'm the DI, commonly called the Lama. The Bodhisattva training school is based on not just your desire for happiness, but you doing the foundation practices that the teacher gives you to prepare for the Bodhisattva training, which is the actual use of the deities. That's how this class is structured. And then moving into higher states of intelligence gradually. They say with level. And the 6 Bodhisattva disciplines, called the 6 perfections, are the first 6 levels, because these are activated already in the relative condition. All of us have glimpses of insight. All of us have glimpses of peace and happiness and quiet and calm. You see? All of us know that it's good to be generous, kind and considerate. All of us know that it's good to be patient, persevere in these good practices, meditate, pray, do things that change your future to appropriate, nice. Through the Buddha, Dharma, and this Supreme Assembly, we go for refuge until enlightenment. May I, through merit, gain from practicing the 6 Bodhisattva disciplines, called the 6 perfections, accomplish Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Now, yes, we already practicing these disciplines, but not as a regimen or foundation for more intelligent information to gather in your consciousness. That's what these do. And that higher intelligence is called the ultimate nature of consciousness. The ultimate. What we're stuck in is the relative. And the word relative is appropriate because everybody's our relative. That's why we use the term mothers. All our mothers. infinite in number from previous life, not just the one that created you this life. That's right, God didn't create you, your mother created you. And my mother never let me forget that, even though I went to Catholic school. So there's some conflict of interest between religious dogmatic situations and the other kind that are interested in the well-being of everybody in the world around us. The other kind, K-I-N-D, based on kindness. Nagdan Jova Namke Tadan Yape Semche Kamche Dudi Ne Junte Jisi Jangchu Nipolachi Kibardu. Sanjay Chodan Choki Chognam Lao Jangchu Bardu Dagni Chapsuchi Dagi Jenso Jipe Sonamki Chola Benjer Sanjay Druparsho. That's the Sanskrit version of the Bodhisattva 6 methods of practice. And then part of the 6 methods, the second one, morality, patience, is the path of skillful means. It's the higher version of morality, ethics, and good manner. It's the Bodhisattva in action, either using voidness as the method or the deity mantra and visualization of a mandala as the method. One or the other. And those train one to be in the present. Because as you're visualizing and chanting, sitting straight and extending it outward from your heart chakra, you can't think of anything else. It's not to block it, it's just to take a break from it. The chatter. Think, 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 think. Night and day, dying in the next life. Think, 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 think. Not working. Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, Lama deities, and Dharma protectors. I have gurus, lamas, which I sound and practice night and day, calling them in to assist us here in the Dharma practice, especially since we've decided to be on a 3-year retreat here at this center. And we're now starting into the 3rd year. The first 2 were easy because we were locked down purposely by outer events. But now it's our choice. We've gotten used to it. It's nice. I say we, me and Abby and Layla the dog, who you just heard her 2 bits from. Now she's giving teachings. Sit with your back straight. Hands comfortable. On your knees or in your lap. This is another mudra. Offering mudra. But these 2 positions are actually Buddha Mudra position. This is Maitreya. This is Amitabha. Right on top of left, thumbs touching. Both hands in the earth touching gesture draped over the knee. Back straight, head slightly tilted. Mouth closed, breathe through the nose if you can, otherwise slightly open. Eyes half closed, soften the gaze to the space and light directly in front of your eye. Don't close your eyes unless you have been trained that way. This is the energy we're working with. This is how we're working with. Then bring your focus, your awareness to your breath. With the inhale, the diaphragm expands. Exhale, contract. Breathe like that for a few moments. Focusing on your breath. Now in meditation, we add to this spontaneous activity of the body, which keeps us alive, called the breath, the breathing. And bring our awareness to the air that we are inhaling, which contains all 5 elements, but the gas of the air is the predominant element. We're going to use the focus on this to enhance the energy of doing that. As you inhale the air, imagine it to fill your lungs as white light. Immediately imagine the absorption breath, the middle breath of the energy of that spreading through your body as red light, flashing through the whole body in a moment. And take these 2 energies, merge them together, and imagine they form the blue light or the powerful healing breath that you exhale out your nose to the sky, daytime sky. To the benefit of all the beings which inhabit this sky-like universe, both outside actually and inside in their mind. Inhale white light, fill your lungs. The absorption breath visualize as red light flashing through every cell in your body. Both brought together and exhaled as a powerful healing breath to all beings, filling space. Blue light out your nose. Now these 3 lights count, 3 lights breathing technique. Count to yourself 21 breaths. When you reach the 21st breath, take your focus off the breath. Take the three lights and gather them together into a tiny particle and visualize it to be centered in your heart chakra, in the central channel of your life force, in the middle of your body. Once you create this point of light, it immediately connects to the infinite light of boundless space, which is called the all ground of samsara, worldly space. Without it, the other four elements could not exist. No meditation, just be present. This is the start of using the breath and your imagination in meditation to develop a state of presence. Being here now. Then from this dimension of space, again use your imagination to create that tiny particle in the center of your heart chakra. Then imagine it to grow into a small sphere of clear light, about the size of your small thumbnail. Then imagine that small sphere of clear light to grow into one of the 5 elements we use for this healing practice. Tonight I'm choosing the element water, touch, body, imagine that small sphere of clear light expand into a thumb-sized blue ball symbolizing water made of light, any color blue you like. Then bring this small blue sphere labeled water, visualize it to move out in front of your chest and up before your eyes, arm's length in front, 2 feet in front, right here. Next step, imagine it to grow in size so you can see it, your physical form just as you are inside this blue sphere labeled water. It has infinite possibility. It makes all kinds of stuff, steam, ice, oceans, streams, clouds, you name it. Bodies. When you can see yourself sitting inside, receiving the healing energy of the elements through this symbol of water, give yourself plenty of room, and it's okay to sit on the bottom of the sphere or just float in it, like a deprivation tank. Next step, share it by expanding it inside to take in about a 50-mile area in every direction. Here on Kauai, we imagine the island of Kauai inside the blue sphere. Then we share it by expanding its influence to completely enclose Mother Earth, including her atmosphere. Then expand it to include the whole solar system, the sun and all the planets, for billions of miles in every direction. Keeping imagination and focus together, imagine it to expand to completely enclose our spiral disc-shaped galaxy. And move beyond the boundaries of conceptual mind and merge the blue sphere with boundless space. If the color blue persists as it disappears into space, that's okay. Sky and space are synonymous. Now, this particular space is actually the sky of your mind. And it's developing into the Dharmakaya because you're training the mind to do just that. Kaya means vehicle, Dharma means wisdom, mother, is the nature of the universe. Without this, there would be no method to retrain the mind. When you relax into space, just be present, no meditation. Take a break. Return from this meditation and spatial awareness by again inventing the blue sphere enclosing the galaxy. Shrink it in size to just enclose the solar system. Shrink it in size to just enclose Mother Earth, our water planet. Smaller and smaller to just enclose this island of Kauai, or a large area of where you are doing this practice. Then shrink it down to the small size, large enough so you can see your form comfortably sitting, standing, laying down, whatever, inside. Be assured that the elemental universe around you is now in harmony with your body. Producing a healing effect. End the practice by bringing your awareness to in front of your eyes with the small sphere of water 2 feet in front, right there with your awareness. With your imagination. Then drop it to chest level and bring it into your heart chakra and condense it to a tiny particle of light, merging with the vast, boundless light field called space. The great expanse. Then take your awareness and spread it into your area of influence. Especially all those you have karma with. This life. These 5 elements have been around, used as a method for healing, symbolically, actually, and purposely with various other healing modalities, herbology, massage, tai chi, and so forth. And they work. And all the tribes of the planet have evolved because of the medicinal qualities of these 5 elements, actually imagined or actually existing as material, like water. Point being, they're imaginary. You know, water looks like water, but water can be ice, water can be clouds, water can be steam. Water can be just ionic particles in space, not even on a planet. It exists everywhere. But this atomic or molecular, or we call relative application, is not the purpose of water. The purpose of water is to train the mind that the mind can heal using this elemental energy, which is what the body is mostly made of. And the water around the planet supporting our life. But that goes for each of these elements. So air has its aspect, space, the mother element, absolutely necessary. Your mother had to give space in her body for these elements to appear to create you. And it was a slow process. Earth, we're all standing on it. We're all equal. Different, but equal. You know? Albert Einstein used to point out, cockroaches, humans, gods, equal. Oh.
Be careful who you say that to.
Yeah, be careful. I'm not very careful, am I? I quoted Lama Rinchen. He's sitting right here on my right shoulder. Oh, this is Lama Tenzin over here. Yeah, I got this thing going on. Fire. Radiation, that's your thoughts. That's the cause of your eyesight. Fire is the source of all radiation or light. It's an aspect of it. It's useful. For us, it's the warmth of the fire of the Dharma that heats up our hearts to be loving, kind, considerate, powerful humans. Human being. Not B-E-A-N-S. Being. Now, these 5 elements all have wisdom nature. Now, every element is interconnected to us. The activity of the elements is in our human body, water. The mind of space is that this is our universal situation with infinite potential. Even this means level the playing field. Take away all these harmful ideas of superior or inferior, or being stupid, not knowing how to connect to your true nature. Okay. 5 elements, 5 states of higher intelligence. It's called wisdom. And I would say 99.9% of the human race today, 7 billion humans, could use just a taste of it. You know, just dip their finger in it. This one, flick it out. Bliss. That's the Dharma. It produces that. And you can imagine it. If you have a cup of good sake in front of you, you dip your finger in the sake and offer it. This stupa is the same as this shark. Otherworldly. No other culture has something like this. Does that make it unique? Yes. But it's used in such a way, and constructed in such a way, and the materials we use to show it are energy programs. This is crystal. It vibrates. It's a mineralite stupa. The bottom part up to here symbolizes earth. Body, speech, and mind, and all the activity in the water element, moving up to the fire element, and then to the space element, and to the sun and moon is the outer world with the little flame at the top called awareness. We all have it. People don't want to cop to it that they have awareness, but they have to be aware to do what they do. They have to be. That's the way consciousness works. What we want to do, what we are doing, is tweaking that awareness. Just tweak it in a soft way that it starts to vibrate in another dimension of being. Awareness and being can't be separate. If there's not a sentient being, there's no awareness. Even animals have instinctual awareness. And a lot of us humans act just like that, like animals, instinctually aware. Eat, sleep, drink, die. No. There's a lot more to this movie than that. Deities. So we have generosity, morality, patience, perseverance, meditative concentration, which we just did with the 5 elements, which we dedicate the virtue of that to all beings, that practice, because it's for everybody else. It just happens to make us physically and mentally stronger. And insight into the true nature of this illusion called the I and its neediness, insight into that. So when we move above the Hinayana practices of the elements in healing, symptomatic healing, we move to the level of causal healing. Both are healing, but this one treats the cause, which, as I started tonight's class with, the I, the ego, E-G-O, that's funny. Ego, should be pronounced ego. Anyway, this development of the Hinayana to the Mahayana is simply an expansion of awareness. Yes, the method is different, but it's the same awareness. And what we are doing is we're moving the awareness of the Hinayana, which is what Hinduism is and all the religions, into the Mahayana, that it's an all-inclusive situation. No one left out. All energy programs appropriate. Without judgment. So when we move to this level of intelligence, the whole purpose is to take out distortion in what you are seeing, smelling, tasting, touching, feeling, and thinking about. Take that distortion out and take out the energy of that. It's supernatural. It's not supernatural. It's your mind. And with the guidance of the Lama, you gradually move out of the Hinayana with the help of the Mahayana. Yana means vehicle, into the Tantra Yana. And over a period of weeks, months, years, everybody's different, how gradually you move through this or how fast. You move into the higher vehicle. And they're called, Yana is Sutra word. The higher vehicles, Kaya is the word for vehicle. And it simply means more intelligent, not superior, more intelligent. Without emotional interference, without judgment, which is where the emotions come from. So the first foundation practice that goes with prostrations in the Nundro to assist your deity yoga of whatever yidam you are going to be, Tara, Chenrezig, Medicine Buddha. Tonight we're going to do Vajrasattva, Chenrezig and Tara in the Vajra family of mirror-like wisdom. That the mind is like a mirror and everything can come into that mirror and either disappear or reflect back out. But the mirror stays empty. But still a state of oneness. Totally interconnected to everyone and everything, because that's the actual situation. Actual. Then your mirror-like awareness becomes an antidote for the arising of the worst infliction, which is now predominant in the human race, and that is anger. And it starts with a judgment call that something is good or bad, superior, inferior, or stupid. This anger is invented. It's a simple aversion, only it's not simple. It comes from aversion, of not liking something. And that something is perfect. That's the way the universe makes everything. Everything is perfect, appropriate. It's supposed to be there. Your anger is invented, and the anger is a terrible mental, physical, disordering disease, and very hard to erase, and causes terrible pain and suffering, not only in the body, but in the world around you, as you can see today. So we take both the Tar and the Chenrezig into this Vajra family of indestructibility, oneness, with mirror-like wisdom as the antidote to, if it can take care of anger, it can take care of all the other afflictions, because they're nothing whatsoever. And we take these two deities and we take this Dorje and bell that all the lamas have. This is the symbol of bringing the females, and this energy called Dakinis, and this is a symbol of bringing the method holders, okay, to the practice. This is the 5 elements and symbol of 5 elements and 5 wisdom, called the Vajra, symbol of indestructibility. This is you connected. This is all of these 5 elements and the vibration of the elements, which is the female energy of the universe. And you visualize these two symbolically above your head. And usually this is a place of higher reverence for your root guru. But right now, just do that. Then there's 2 vibrations of these 2 ritual symbols. One to call the method holders, the male aspect, and the female of the action of the method. They're called Dakinis. To this vibration of energy, and they disappear, and 2 sounds appear. The Vajra vibration is Hung, H-U-N-G. And the Dakini energy is any one of the 5 elemental Dakinis. Tonight we use the water symbol, Mom. So both of these are blue in color, Mom and Hung. Then light goes out from these 2 symbols to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, or everybody that does these practices, especially this foundation practice of Vajrasattva, which is a Dharani, a prayer mantra. Mantra means powerful speech. And out of this gathers these 2, Tar Chenrezig, as Vajrayogini and Vajrasattva. In union, Yab Yum, mother, father. Yab is father, Yum is mother. So they're in sexual union. Here, life side. The energy from their union and those two sounds, bomb or mom and home, create the light show of these two in union, representing all the deities of the Tibetan tradition, 1,000, into your practice. And you think that your mother in front and all sentient beings are the benefit of this practice, and they individually and collectively are the mandala of Vajrayogini and Vajrasattva. So all the four spirit worlds are these two. All the animals, all the humans on planets throughout the universe. They take this aspect of these two above their head. Then, because you're doing that, the 100-syllable mantra appears from their heart centers, connecting them. And it fills their body with light. And then from their place of union, this light pours down into you. You become like a vase. You can think through the Uma channel. Two hands spreads back towards the back of the head. There's a soft spot. It's called the opening to the Uma. Runs straight down through the body to the perineum. Connects up all the central chakra energy centers. And this light from the deities is pouring into you through each of those energy centers. You can think of 5 or 7, whatever you want. And as your body fills up with this elixir of light energy from the two deities, it pushes out all the negativity you've been placing there with your lifestyle of emotional involvement with everything. All that negative blockages, however you want to think of it, out through your orifices, eyes, nose, mouth, ears, lower orifice, and out through your pore. It all comes out like sludge, comes off your body and down into the earth. And as soon as this shit hits the earth, it turns to nectar or food or whatever is appropriate for the spirits and animals in the earth, nagas and so forth. Then you sound the mantra of Vajrasattva. And yes, it's a prayer. And simply put, it invites all the sources of refuge and all the 5 wisdom energies together with the 5 elements to be who you are. Actually, with the guidance of the 5 Dhyana Buddhas and your gurus, your Lama gurus, men and women. It starts with the vibration of Om, which is the infinite potential of space itself. Om. Vajrayogini, Vajrasattva. So when you say that, then you think of these two deities. Then you start the prayer to bring all the lamas, all the deities, all the Buddhas, all the protectors, all the wisdoms, all the benefit into the practice. Om Vajrayogini, Vajrasattva, Samaya. Samaya means commitment. Om Vajrayogini, Vajrasattva, Samaya. Manupalaya, Vajrasattva, Denopa, Tikta Drido, Mevawa, Sutto Kayo, Mevawa, Suppo Kayo, Mevawa, Anurakta, Mevawa, Sarvar Siddhi, Memtrayasa, Sarvar Karma, Sutsame, Sit Sam Shriya Guru Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarvadatta Kata Vajramame Vajramao Mahasamaya Sattva. So Samaya at the beginning and Samaya at the end are the same thing. It's all about your commitment to what? The altruistic motivation, the 6 sources of refuge, and the discipline of the Bodhisattva training. Memorize this mantra. It's in the Nungdro practice. It's in the Tibetan calendar book.
It's on the website
It's on our website.
and our message.
And then if you say it like me, you can maybe even remember it that way. I only did it about 10, 15,000 times before I could remember. As Vajrasattva, Vajragini. So Hung and Mom, Vajra and Bell, Vajragini, Vajrasattva is this energy pattern, which is all inclusive. Humans in bliss. She with a skull cup and knife behind his head. He with the instruments of the lotus and the mala, or Vajra and bell, or whatever ritual instrument you want to imagine. Both of them sitting in union on a lotus sun and moon seat. This means only takes place in the human condition, with humans. And the mirror-like Buddhism is this effect around the head. Then the light energy that they're coming from is however space, whatever space wants to produce that's appropriate for this mandala. Anything works. Everything is appropriate. There is no good or bad. Take that out of your movie. There's no superior or inferior. There's no divine and supernatural. There's no outcast. There's no stupidity. You can't have realization of the truth, absolute truth, without stupidity. One invents the other. It's the way the universe works. So, all this energy is coming down, pushing all this gook out of your body. You're imagining that is healing your body, whether you like it or not. It works. And as you do this practice more and more, you become lighter. I'm not going to say someday you got to sit with a brick on your lap, but you get lighter, really. And that's one form of enlightenment we're talking about. And it's okay. So here we go. Purify this human core. Om Vajragini, Vajrasattva, Samaya, Manopalaya, Vajrasattva, Dedopa, Tita Judo, Mevawa, Sutokayo, Mevawa, Supokayo, Mevawa, Anorakta, Mevawa, Sarwar City, Memchayatsa, Sarwar Karma, Susame, Sisam Shriya, Kuru, Aho, Bhagawan, Sarwar Tata Gata, Vajramame, Vajrasattva, Mahasamaya Sattva. Ao is the sound of pure energy. It is the Buddha field of Bodhisattva training of Amoga City. But sticking to this practice, Om Vajrasattva, Samaya, Manopalaya, Vajrasattva, Denoba, Tita Judo, Mevawa, Sutogayo Mevawa, Supogayo Mevawa, Anurakto Mevawa, Sarva Siddhi, Vemtayasa, Sarva Karma, Sutsame, Sitsam Shriya, Kuru, Boom, Ha 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 Ho, Bhagawan, Sarva Tata Gata, Vajra Memunsa, Vajra Bhawa, Mahasamaya, Sattva Pa, Ha 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 Ho. Four wisdoms and the four elements turned into voidness. That's Ho. That's all four of them. Bhagawan, that's your Lama Guru teacher. Only Lamas teach this. Only Lamas practice this. So they can teach it. Om Vajrasattva. Om Vajrayogini. Vajrasattva. Samaya. Manopalaya. Vajrasattva. Denopa. Tita Drido. Mevawa. Sutokayo. Mevawa. Supogayo. Mevawa. Anurakta. Mevawa. Sawar Siddhi. Memtrayasa. Sawar Karma. Sutsame. Sitsam Shriya. Guru. Home. Ha 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 ha. Bhagavan. Sawar Tathagata. Vajramamema. Vajrabhava. Mahasamaya Sattva. Om Vajrayogini, Vajrasattva, Samaya, Manopalaya, Vajrasattva, Denopa, Tita Tita Meva, Sutokayo Mevawa, Supokayo Mevawa, Anurakto Mevawa, Sarva Siddhi Vemtrapa, Yatsa, Sarva Karma, Sutsame, Sitsam Shriya Kuru, Boom, Ha 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 Ho. Bhagawan, Sarva Tathagata, Vajramameva, Vajrabhava, Mahasamaya Sattva, Om Vajrayogini, Vajrasattva, Manopalaya, Vajrasattva, Denopa, Tita Tita Mevawa, Sutokayo Mevawa, Supokayo Mevawa, Anurakto Mevawa, Sarva Siddhi Mantraya, Sarva Karma Sitsame, Sitsam Shriya Guru, Bhagavan, Sarva Tathagata, Vajramameva, Vajrabhava, Mahasamaya Sattva, Om Vajrayogini, Vajrasattva, Samaya, Manopalaya, Vajrasattva, Denopa, Tita Tita Mevawa, Sutokayo Mevawa, Supokayo Mevawa, Tower Karma Sutsame, Sitsam Shriya Guru, Home, Ha Ha Om Bhagavan, Tower Tathagata, Vajramameva, Samaya Sattva, Om Vajrayogini, Vajrasattva, Samaya, Manopalaya, Vajrasattva, Denopa, Tita Tita Mevawa, Sutokayo Mevawa, Supokayo Mevawa, Anurakto Mevawa, Sarva Siddhi Mantraya, Karma Sutsame, Sitsam Shriya Guru, Ho Bhagavan, Sarva Tathagata, Vajramameva, Vajrabhava, Samaya Sattva, Om Vajrayogini, Vajrasattva, Samaya, Manopalaya, Vajrasattva, Tita Tita Mevawa, Sutokayo Mevawa, Supokayo Mevawa, Anurakta Mevawa, Sarva Siddhi Mantraya, Sarva Karma Sutsame, Sitsam Shriya, Om Bhagavan, Sarva Tathagata, Vajramameva, Vajrabhava, Samaya Sattva, Om Vajrayogini, Vajrasattva, Samaya, Palaya, Vajrasattva, Denopa, Tita Tita Mevawa, Sutokayo Mevawa, Supokayo Mevawa, Anurakta Mevawa, Sarva Siddhi Mantraya, Sarva Karma Sutsam, Sitsam Shriya Guru, Bhagavan, Savatagata Vajramami Vajrama Mahasamaya Sava Vajragani Vajrasapa Manopalaya Vajrasapa Denopa Tita Me Bhava Sutokaya Me Bhava Supokaya Me Bhava Anurato Me Bhava Sawa Siddhi Manjaya Sawa Gama Susana Sisam Shriya Guru Bhagavan Sarvatagata Vajramami Vajrabhava Samaya Sapa Om Vajragani Vajrasapa Samaya Manopalaya Vajrasapa Denopa Tedejito Meva Sutokayo Mevava Supokayo Mevava Anurato Mevava Sawa Siddhi Manjaya Sawa Gama Susame Sisam Shriya Guru Bhagavan Sarvatagata Vajramami Shabhama Samaya Sapa Vajragani Vajrasapa Samaya Malaya Vajrasapa Denopa Tita Jita Mebhava Sutokayo Mebhava Supokayo Anurato Mebhava Sawa Siddhi Manjaya Sawa Gama Susame Sisam Shriya Guru Bhagavan Sarvatagata Vajramami Vajrabhava Samaya Sapa Now I mentioned I had to say this several thousand times in order to get it into my memory bank. But more importantly, I had to do the mantra and visualization about 30 or 40,000 times before I could start to see the images clearly in my mind, before I could really visualize. So this helps people that can't do that break the atrophy of not being able to visualize. That part of the mind's program gets atrophied, gets subdued by not using it. And there are many ways that it's hindered. TV is the worst. Video, any kind of screen, any kind of harsh lighting, and so forth. Many ways to diffuse your imaginary process. But it is like a muscle. Muscles have memory. And your imaginary aspect of your consciousness also. So the more you do this practice, the more you enhance your verbal, your mental, and your emotional purification. Then these foundation practices aid whatever deity practice you do, like Vajrasattva, Tara practice, Chenrezig practice, Manjushri practice, medicine Buddha practice, five deities yoga. They're all the same imagination. Different seed levels, different mantras, different presentation. But for now, Om Vajragani Vajrasapa Samaya Manopalaya Vajrasapa Denopa Tita Jita Sutokayo Mebhava Supokayo Mebhava Anurato Mebhava Sawa Siddhi Manjaya Sawa Gama Susame Sisam Shriya Guru Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sapa. So if you do 108 rounds using your mala for a counter, depending on your speed, you could say, if you do it kind of fast, you could say 300 mantras in an hour of this 100-syllable mantra. So you can use a clock instead of the counter. Regardless, it takes time for the process to increase the healing activity of your body, speech, and mind. And it happened. Just as I said, your atrophied aspect of visualization comes back. The use of the memory of the mantra reestablished, and so forth. These are the benefits, these are the perks. And most importantly, all of that blockage of emotional constricting energy that started by secretions from this brain and went through all your whole body is the cause of extreme pain and suffering in the body and disease. Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manobalaya Vajrasattva Denoba Tita Jino Mebawa Sutogayo Meba Supogayo Mebawa Anuraka Mebawa Samajani Mataya Sarakama Susame Sisam Shiyaku Bhagawan Sarvataka Vajramami Vajrava Vajramaya Sava. Click. That was my stopwatch. That's 30 seconds. That's to a minute. That's 120 an hour. Oh, Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manobalaya Vajrasattva Denoba Tita Jito Mebawa Sutogaya Mebawa Supogayo Meba Anuraka Mebawa Sarvajaya Vajrayam Sarakama Sisa Jiyaku Sarvatagata Vajramami Vajrava Vajramaya Santa Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Panavalaya Vajrasattva Denoba Tita Jito Mebawa Sutogaya Sutogaya Mebawa Sutogaya Mebawa Anuraka Mebawa Sarvajaya Vajrayam Sarakama Susame Sisa Jiyaku Om Bhagawan Sarvatagata Vajramami Vajrava Vajramaya Santa Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Panavalaya Vajrasattva Denoba Tita Jito Mebawa Sutogaya Mebawa Sutogaya Mebawa Anuraka Mebawa Sarvajaya Sarakama Susame Sisa Jiyaku Bhagawan Sarvatagata Vajramami Vajrava Vajramaya Santa Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manobalaya Vajrasattva Denoba Tita Jito Mebawa Sutogaya Mebawa Sutogaya Mebawa Anuraka Mebawa Sarvajaya Vajrayam Sarakama Susame Sisa Jiyaku Om Bhagawan Sarvatagata Vajramami Vajrava Vajramaya Santa Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manobalaya Vajrasattva Denoba Tita Jito Mebawa Sutogaya Mebawa Supogaya Mebawa Anuraka Mebawa Sarvajaya Vajrayam Sarakama Susame Sisa Jiyaku Om Bhagawan Sarvatagata Vajramami Vajrava Vajramaya Santa Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manobalaya Vajrasattva Supogaya Mebawa Anuraka Mebawa Sarvajaya Vajrayam Sarakama Susame Sisa Jiyaku Om Vajramami Vajrava Vajramaya Santa Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manobalaya Vajrasattva Denoba Tita Jito Mebawa Sutogaya Mebawa Supogaya Mebawa Anuraka Vajrayam Vajrayam Sarakama Susame Sisa Jiyaku Bhagawan Sarvatagata Vajrava Vajramaya Santa Om Vajragini Vajrasattva Samaya Manobalaya Vajrasattva Tita Jito Mebawa Sutogaya Mebawa Supogaya Mebawa Anuraka Mebawa Sarvajaya Vajrayam Sarakama Susame Sisa Jiyaku Bhagawan Sarvatagata Vajramami Vajrava Vajramaya Santa. Now, whether you say the mantra fast or slowly, the purification process stays the same, steady. Intaking of light, filling all the channels of light energy through your body, pushing all the negative emotional blockages out of the body like sludge on the surface of the body through orifices and pores, and then all that sluices off down into the earth and becomes food and nectar for the spirits and animals living in the earth. Om Vajrayogini Vajrasattva Samaya Manobhavaya Vajrasattva Tita Trido Me Bhava Sutto Kayo Me Bhava Suppo Kayo Me Bhava Anurakto Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Manjaya Sarva Karma Sutsame Sisam Shriya Guru Om Sarva Tata Gata Vajama Vajabhava Samaya Sattva Vajra Samaya Sattva. It's like this water. Everything you put into the body has to come out of the body. And when your body is free of these accumulated emotional constructs, of the ideas of who and what you are and the emotional judgment that is so painful inside, outside, and causes so much trouble, then when your body is clear, energy is energy. Then that bliss energy you've been changing into for the nagas in the earth and the animal becomes your own light show. You attain the radiant body of bliss. Bliss is beyond mental construct. It doesn't have a definition. It's just nice. It's okay. And it's generated actually physically from this frontal core down through your throat, down through your middle body, lower body, legs, feet, hands, hair. Probably why I still got my hair. Light is light. The body of pure light is the Diva, Vajrayogini and Vajrasattva. There's no limit to that energy program. It's all inclusive. It is the ultimate realization in action. That just like that, everything is the same nature. And you extend that from your heart to all your mothers, all your children, filling space. Infinite in number. When you do that, all the infinite sentient beings, as Vajrayogini and Vajrasattva, enter into you. They join you in this feast of bliss. They're the creator of the 100-syllable mantra. Because you're doing that for them. That's the vibration of the deity's two hearts working together and producing it in them and then down into you. Simple. Then these two deities dissolve down into you at the end of the practice session. Now there's two of you here, Vajrayogini and Vajrasattva, in union. You're both. How's that for a stretch? At that moment, a short mantra appears, connecting the two seed syllables, Mam and Hum, Blam and Hum, whichever you have. Om Vajragini, Vajrasattva, Mam Hum. 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 The visualization, there's no movement, just the vibration of these two as light bodies in union. Bliss is the theme, physically, mentally, and emotionally is joy. And beyond that, intelligent, good in nature, blissful, appropriate, infinitely okay. Om Vajragini, Vajrasattva.
So my,
Om Vajragini, Vajrasattva. 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 Om Vajragini. Om Vajragini, Vajrasattva. Om Vajragini, Vajrasattva. Hey, end with the sound hey. If you want, you can even hey, right in front of your heart chakra. Hey means dispel, cut, remove, purify. Both on the relative and ultimate level of the nature of your consciousness. Hey. Then the two deities merge together with the seed syllables overlapping. And they disappear together with the two seed syllables into the 100-syllable mantra. And that mantra, starting with the sound Om, letter by letter, disappears into space. And space becomes a 5-color sphere of energy. And then it contracts to a tiny point of light in the center of your heart chakra. And you relax in the infinite present. No future, no past. Being present, the practice is to remove judgment of what thoughts arise and body sensations that arise. No judgment, no good, no bad, no superior, They're just entities. Experiences are just experiences. They arise out of voidness and disappear. Nothing is permanent. And bliss is timeless, limitless. It's the ultimate perk from practice. You can't experience it. You can't get your mind around it, but you know it's there. Relax in bliss. I'm reading from the Book of Clarity as you arise from this state called the accomplishment phase of yoga, highest yoga. The creation stage was being the deity and imagining the mandala and how we used it. This is called perfect clarity. And it says, teachings by Padmasambhava, Yeshe Soigil, Milarepa, Organ Rinpoche, Kala Rinpoche, and many other gurus of the various lineages, dating back to the Buddha Shakyamuni. At some point, we will reach a more stable familiarization with shamatha and shine practice, which is simply resting in a peaceful attitude. And then vipassana, at some time, will start to enter into the natural unity of our own mind as a state of voidness or lack of judgment awareness, non-judgmental mind. Attaining stability in these two, in which the shine or shamatha is primordially abiding in the natural state, and vipassana is actually abiding in the natural luminosity of that state. And these two are basically indivisible. When experienced, it is called, in practice, it is called the state of joy or bliss. But it is the dawn of self-existing wakefulness as awareness realizing Dzog Chen, the mind of bliss. This is the instruction for abiding in space-like equanimity or equality. The Buddha Saraha says, completely abandoning the thinker and what is thought of, simply remain like a thought-free child, and everything will be okay. And Mama Rinpoche, when we read these books, he'd take the book and go, either on my head or his head. I says, why do you do that? He says, knock some sense in. Taking and sending with the breath. With the situation on the planet today, and more so here in Hawaii, because we are not hindered by a lot of the drastic changes in climate experienced in other parts of the world. And so our practice is less hindered. And a lot of people think that it's too easy here and why bother? Well, that's the majority. But I didn't come to Hawaii to sit on my ass on the beach. I came to Hawaii to find my teacher and find my mind and how to be a useful human being in any way possible. Point being, good health, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and any way you want to apply this Dharma, it's simply a good health program. You can't get it in the health food store. And it treats the cause of your suffering, not just like all the outer world healing programs. If you don't treat the cause, you can't cut the root. If you can't cut the truth, the root of pain and suffering becomes a tree and blossom. It's called karma. Take the karma of the path as the path. That's the third root teaching that I read to you tonight. Take whatever arises in your life, good or bad. Don't judge it, offer it. Dissolve it into voidness. That's what taking and sending teaches us, that since it's simply illusion and space and energy is the format, you can take any situation in with your, like black light with your breath, into your heart chakra of unlimited compassion, concern for the well-being of others. This is voidness. This doesn't exist. But it does. As soon as it disappears into your heart, so that icky situation out here, or something with your body, or something with the others, the drama, you immediately visualize white light goes back to that person or that situation, and it's okay. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, okay. Do not judge it. That's what taking and sending is really for. That's what the Dharma practice is really for. Take the judgment call out of your speech, out of your mind, out of your thinking. It doesn't work. It promotes emotional conflict, war. Apply it to all the climatic changes and all of the worldly situation and everything you see in the newspaper and on the news. All of that is to be taken on the path with these practices. Nothing left out. And we dedicate the virtue of this practice and these states of higher intelligence that we are acquiring through these practices to the benefit of all beings, our children. AYD Nirdu Da, Chagya Jempo Drukir Name, Trowa Chinking Mamrupa, Te Sala Gopar Show, Sanjay Kusa Nimpai Jemla Dong, Choni Maker Dimpai Jemla Dong, Gendu Miche Dimpai Jemla Ki, Chitar Gomamo Nam Jupar Show. By this virtue of having realized the mind of bliss, Mahamudra may quickly establish all beings without a single exception in that state. By the blessings of the three kayas of the Buddhas being accomplished, by the blessing of the truth of the Dharma being unchanging, and by the blessing of the wishes of the Sangha, that's us through practice, may all beings be free of attachment, aversion, pride, jealousy, stupidity, bewilderment, ignorance, fear, hope, anxiety, depression, etc., etc., etc. Aloha and Tashi Delay. Thank you.